Hey guys, how are you all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. So it is time for our Bitcoin and Ethereum Dominator and DMT update. Not too much to go over today. The market hasn't moved too much. The 15-minute Dominator is still basically in the sell. The buy line has come down to about 6,300, not too far away from the price. You'll notice that the buy and sell line, because we aren't having massive volatility now, they aren't like $500 or $600 away from the price. So that's just due to the relatively lower volatility in the market at the moment. 25-minute Bitcoin Dominator it's currently in a sell trade from about here. It did take a buy trade here, but that wasn't a successful trade, as you can see. And obviously the sell trade from there was a great trade. So over to the 15-minute Ethereum DMT. So you can see Ethereum's looking weak here. DMT line just coming down, so we'll have to see where that settles. Yeah, so again, not too much to talk about there. And the 25-minute Ethereum Dominator, just in a sell trade as well, again before this little dump down here. So we'll see what happens there. That also did have a buy trade around here that didn't really work out too well. I mean, with these moves down, you should probably really only be looking for sells, just to sell any rallies, like we've been doing in the stock market. Yeah, the Dominator there, 25-minute Dominator on Ethereum was a great trade. We looked at that yesterday. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to see. We're going to have a gap when the CME is open. If we open down here, so I'll have a gap above price to see what happens with that. See whether we just carry on racing on lower, or whether we fill that gap and maybe move up, or fill that gap and come back down. We'll guess we're going to see. I think it's going to get pretty wild in the markets this week, for want of a better term. I think the reality of what is going on with the global pandemic is going to hit the US. So I'm pretty much expecting even lower liquidity in the markets, more problems with ETFs. More problems with the general function of the market, with market participants not being at their desk, providing the liquidity they normally would. So I'm expecting dislocations. I'm even getting to the point now where if they're going to shut the markets, it's going to be pretty soon. I mean, I'm guessing unless we have a big dip, they may hold off doing that, but I think as soon as we do start to get a couple of limit downs in one day, they'll probably just call that a day for the markets. Yeah, so this is the world we live in now anyway, guys. If you don't think that they can shut the markets down, I mean, that's happened a lot more often than the whole countries have been basically put under house arrest. So yeah, you need to put what is realistic into perspective in this this new normal that we have now, guys. This new normal we're living in. So yeah, on that note, yeah, I hope you guys are all safe and well out there, looking after your family and your elderly family, and looking after your young family members, and make sure everyone's got food and exercise, and everyone's making the best they can out of the situation. I hope you guys are doing some self-learning, working on planning on new businesses, just do you know what I mean, using this time useful. I mean, everyone's got to try and make the most of this time. You should always try and make the most of every situation you're in anyway. That's a philosophy I've always lived by, that I can always turn anything into a positive, any situation I can always turn into a positive and then see the benefits of. So that's what everybody needs to be doing now, especially in these times. I mean, lots of people won't have had this sort of spare time in their lives recently, or recently. I won't say ever, because you probably had it at some point, but not recently. So now it's time to get things done that you've been putting off, things around the house, self-directed learning, planning businesses, spending time with your family, spending time talking to your family members that you're not necessarily there with at the time, All these things we've all got no excuse for now. We should all be trying to make the most out of what we're doing. But anyway, so remember, this is not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I'll speak to you guys soon.